Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that might seem a bit unusual but is actually incredibly relevant. The power of letting go. Nobody teaches us about letting go. We live in a world that often tells us to hold on tight, to keep pushing and never give up. And while perseverance has its place, I will not say we should give up. But sometimes what we really need to do is the opposite. We need to let go. Take, for example, your studies. Many of you work so hard, especially if you're preparing for something like the IELTS exam. For students who didn't grow up in English speaking environment, there can be so much pressure on them to perform well, to study harder than everyone else. They give everything they have, but sometimes all that pressure leaves them feeling drained and broke. It is the same in relationships. There are people who hold on to relationships that no longer bring them happiness. They keep trying because they believe that giving up would mean they have failed. But sometimes giving up isn't failure, it is freedom. Now let's come back to example of IELTS. Think about the pressure some of you feel to achieve high score on IELTS, especially if English isn't your first language. The expectation is often to work harder than anyone else, to put in endless hours until perfection is achieved. But here's something to consider. The more pressure we put on ourselves to reach success quickly, the more likely we are to feel burned out or disappointed. Instead, what if you accepted that building up your English skills will take some time? Accepting where you are without the stress of unrealistic deadlines can actually make the journey faster and more fulfilling. This might sound like a paradox, but it is true. The more you accept that it will take time, the easier and the quicker your learning can become. And what is the reason behind this? Because acceptance allows you to move forward without the weight of stress. It lets you focus on improving day by day rather than stressing over where you should be. When we compare ourselves to somebody who is good in English, we might think it took a very short period of time, but that is not true. His or her background will be English, but we just focus that the other person just completed his IELTS in 15 days, 20 days, or a month. Stop comparing and do not put extra pressure on yourself. By releasing some of that pressure and allowing yourself the time to grow, you will likely find that learning becomes smoother. When there is no pressure, learning becomes less forced and more productive. You can try while learning a thing that will not give you any benefit. Because there will be no stress, it will be easy and fun for you. Accepting the journey does not mean giving up. It means giving yourself the freedom to succeed in a way that is sustainable, efficient, and nice. In philosophy, this idea of letting go is present by so many philosophers. The Stoics believe that we should focus only on what we can control and let go of the rest. Buddhists speak of non-attachment, which does not mean we don't care. It means we aren't ruled by the outcomes we can't control. Letting go isn't avoiding hard work or ignoring effort. It is about knowing where to invest our energy and what to release. Think of this as an act of self-compassion. Just because you're letting go of fear or unrealistic expectations does not mean you're letting go of your goals. It just means you're choosing to pursue them in a way that feels balanced and humane. So today, I invite you to ask yourself, what can you let go? Maybe it is a little bit of stress that comes from studying too hard, or maybe it is a situation that you have held on out of habit and not happiness. What would it feel like to release some of that pressure? To allow yourself to be where you are without any judgment. Letting go is an act of courage and wisdom. Lastly, remember, letting go does not mean we lose anything. It means we create space for growth, peace, and new beginnings. Thank you for listening. Take a deep breath and let go.